Imagine you have brought profound shame to your family, lost your military titles, and become the human equivalent of a damp squib at a garden party. In the real world, you are looking at a studio flat and a microwave meal. In the House of Windsor, you get a grace and favour mansion at Sandringham, a fleet of staff to buff your silver, and an annual stipend that would make a Silicon Valley CEO weep. Welcome to the plush and incredibly expensive world of royal real estate. I am your host, and this is Royal Fusion TV, where we peel back the velvet curtains to see who is actually footing the bill for the world's most elite landlords. Quick favour, if you are enjoying this deep dive into the Crown's coffers, do hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell icon. Over 92% of our viewers have not joined the family yet. It is entirely free, takes a mere second, and truly means the world to us. Thank you ever so much if you did. Now, back to the show. Let us start with Prince Andrew. Despite a track record that has embarrassed the palace more than a rogue corgi in a ballroom, he is still living the dream. It is fascinating, is it not? Most of us get an eviction notice if we forget to mow the lawn, but Andrew gets a free roof and a salary just for existing. It is the ultimate brotherly love package, courtesy of King Charles. But if you think the king is being generous to his brother, wait until you see what he is doing for the love of his life, Queen Camilla. You might think being the king comes with enough property to satisfy anyone. You have the palaces, the castles, and estates with their own postcodes. But apparently, even a king needs a little more elbow room. Newly published documents have revealed a staggering property play. The king has spent a jaw-dropping £3.75 million on a house right next door to Camilla's private country retreat, Ray Mill. To put that into perspective, the previous owner bought it just 8 years ago for £675,000. That is an increase of over 450%. Why the massive markup? Is the soil infused with liquid gold? Probably not. It is more about what the house is not going to be. There were fears this property, the old mill in Raybridge, might be turned into, heaven forbid, a wedding venue. Can you imagine the Queen trying to enjoy a quiet gin and tonic while a hens-on-tour group belts out a biber next door? The king simply was not having it. But how do you buy a multi-million-pound mill without making a scene? You do what every savvy billionaire does, you hide behind a curtain of paperwork. When the king buys a house, he does not just sign a check, he creates a whole new company. Enter Freezer Nominees Limited. This entity was set up last year with its address listed as, you guessed it, Buckingham Palace. The directors are not property moguls, but James Chalmers, the keeper of the Privy Purse, and Catherine James from the Private Secretary's office. It is essentially the king's accountants playing property ladder with private funds. Now, the palace insists this is standard practice for administrative ease. And while that sounds very professional and boring, it is also a fantastic way to keep things discreet. Think of it like this. If you want to buy the last slice of cake at a party without looking greedy, you send a friend to grab it for you. Freezer Nominees is that friend. It keeps the royal name off the immediate alerts and ensures the king's private funds move with surgical precision. Ray Mill has always been Camilla's sanctuary. She bought it back in 1996 for a relatively modest £850,000 following her divorce. It is her escape pod from the rigid formalities of royal life. However, ownership of this beloved retreat has recently been shuffled around. The new registered owners are not the Queen, but her son-in-law, Harry Lopez, and a financier named Jake Irwin. It is a classic move of passing the torch while keeping the flame in the family. Harry is representing his wife Laura, and Jake is representing Camilla's son, Tom. The official line? It is not best practice for beneficiaries to be trustees themselves. It is the royal version of putting the good china in a locked cabinet so the kids do not break it before they inherit it. It is clever, calculated, and ensures the Queen's private legacy remains shielded from the prying eyes of the taxman. What does all this tell us? It tells us that privacy is the ultimate luxury, and the king is willing to pay any price to secure it for his queen. While the rest of the country navigates a cost-of-living crisis, the Windsors are busy consolidating an empire of mills and nominee companies. It is a world where £3.75 million is just the price of peace and quiet. Is it standard practice, or a masterclass in staying wealthy in the shadows? One thing is certain, When it comes to the king, the price tag is always staggering. Thank you ever so much for watching.